I think a lot. Even though I meditate, even though I read, even though I practice mindfulness, because I used to believe that mindfulness and meditation actually helps you stop thinking, like pause, you know, empty in here. But that's not how it works. Mindfulness and meditation are the same thing. Mindfulness actually helps us not getting stuck in those thoughts, not like not confused those thoughts and reality, not believing those thoughts and thinking that is true. The actual meditation is not really stopping thoughts. I have tried this myself. In the beginning period of practicing meditation, 3 to 4 months straight, I was doing it in the morning, first thing in the morning, about 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes before sleep, because that was the approach that I had discovered and I wanted to give it a try, right? To literally try to stop all the thoughts from running, from working. Like I literally try to like pause everything. And I don't even know how I did it actually, but it was working for only 4 months. Like I would be really still. I would not have anything up here. Of course, it's not always perfect, right? It's always like there's always some thoughts running. But when I notice that I start thinking about something, I would wiggle my toe to kind of signal myself to come back here, you know. And I would do that many times. In the beginning, probably all the time. But after a few months, it would start to be better. I would start to, I don't know how I did it, but I was like really quiet in my head, right? And I was like, wow, I did it. I did it and I'm happy. But after 4 months, it doesn't work anymore. Like I simply can't. I simply couldn't sit still without having any thoughts in my head at all. And I was like, something is wrong. I'm not doing it right. How, like, what changed? What changes? What happened? Why it doesn't work anymore? And I was so like, I was kind of freaked out a little bit because mm, doing like meditation like that was supposed to help me, but then it doesn't work anymore. And I'm like, what is happening here? I don't get it. And no one around me was actually practice mindfulness, so I don't really have anyone to turn to. Instead, I do my research, right? I observe my body and I do some research. I started to do like watch more of people talking about meditation and actually practicing, but I couldn't find someone who actually talked about what I was going through, you know and I did a little bit of research about myself and I discovered feminine meditation. I think I was on one platform and I saw a woman. She was sitting on the grass, legs crossed, and behind her was a huge mountain. The weather was amazing. And she talked about feminine meditation. That was the first time I ever heard of feminine meditation. I didn't even know that meditation separates into yeah, you know. So I was like, what is that? You know? So what she was saying was that feminine meditation, we don't focus our breathing on the stomach, but we focus our breathing on the womb. I'm like, what? I've never heard of that before. She said, yeah, we focus on the womb because the womb is a creation. It's a creation of life. And I was like listening to her, how she do it, right? And she said, When you practice feminine meditation, you don't try to control your thoughts. You don't try to force it to stop, try to force it to not happen. Feminine, it's about flow with the rhythm, you flow with life. So I was like, what does that mean? It means we don't try to stop the thoughts, we actually let it flow. We let it move how it wants. But what we do is we train ourselves to be here at the present moment, notice the things around us, like a general meditation. And we also notice those thoughts. We notice them in the back of our mind, but we let it flow. We let it flow from the right out the left. You ever have those type of thought where you think about it and then the more you think about it, the more you go deeper into it. Not really consciously, it's just, it happens, you know? It just happens. That's just how it flow, right? And this kind of meditation actually trains you to flow with the thoughts. Don't hold on to it. Don't take it seriously. Don't even think that it's true because it's not true. You're not supposed to hook onto it. You're not supposed to even believe that that is who you are. It's not, you know. So I was very curious about this, and so I gave it a try. So I focused on the womb instead of my stomach. In the beginning, I was like, how do I breathe through the womb? How do I do that? And it took some times actually. It took, I think, a few, no, I think it took a week or two. I think it's a long time already since I like tried this the first time. But I think it was like the first few weeks or something. I started to try that. And I noticed that I'm aware of the thoughts. I'm aware of what's happening in here. But I'm also aware that I am not caught up with it. I'm not triggered by it, you know? I'm I was in this I was in stillness. I was present. I noticed the sound. I noticed my back, how it felt. I noticed if I was bending my back or if I was straight up arching my back. I noticed both of my feet on the ground. I noticed the touch of the fabric on my skin. I noticed those things and I noticed that I'm in the present moment. And like I said, the most important thing is I notice those thoughts. And it's the first time that I was there. Like I let it exist without catching it. I let it exist without thinking that it's serious or it's something important. Like I could separate the noise and I could separate the noise from the present moment. I notice everything in the present moment. You know, how my back feel, how my hands feel, how my legs feel touching the ground. I feel this. And I also notice those thoughts that was running in the back of my mind. And that was when I'm like, okay, okay. It works again. I was able to sit for 10 minutes and sometimes longer. And I was more focused. I was more relaxed. I was more at ease. I was more graceful. I would say that. So, this is a little practice that I have been trying to do. And I have been meditating for I think, over a year and a half. Yeah, over a year and a half already, but it's on and off because I was unable to do it when I was in survival mode. You know, I was only able to do it when I start to feel safe, when my environment is safe and calm and things like that. It's easier to focus, on developing mindfulness. So that's why I was on and off. But recently I have been trying to get back to it. I start simple by only 5 minutes in the morning. And sometimes I don't even do at night, but every morning I would do it, you know. And what I would do is I would get out of bed, right? Not in a hurry. I would take time to slowly get out of bed, to slowly waking up. And I sat down on the bed, with the blanket. It's comfy. So I sat, on my bed, legs crossed, and I set the timer 5 minutes, and I started. I noticed that when I do it first thing in the morning, it's the easiest time to do it because I don't have anything here yet. Like it's blank, it's quiet. I woke up, nothing in here. I haven't consumed anything. I haven't hear anything. I haven't see anything yet, you know. So here is like total blank, total blank. It's easy to focus. It's easy to sit still. It's easy to practice mindfulness. It's also easy to like practice the manifestation. You know, it's easy to form something good. It's easy to think about something good, something that you want, actually embody as you already have those things. When you do that and you start your day, it's like you're already success. The first step of the day, you're already success. So I've been doing that and I'm trying to get back to it now because I have spending some time stabilize my nervous system and it's finally stabilized for I think a month already. So I'm getting back into it. I can't wait. I can't wait to share more about this because it's something that I don't really see a lot of people talk about. Um, it's not only that, it's simply because it's the type of experience that actually change the way I think about things. That's one book that I read when I first wanted to explore something like this, when I was trying to find my way. It's called The Greatest Secret. Yeah, everybody know the secret. I think that's what it called. The first one is called The Secret or something. But The Secret was actually the second book that I read. The first one was the first one was The Greatest Secret. That book changed the way I think about my body, think about the body, think about the mind, think about the mindfulness. And I started to practice meditation because of that book. So if you're curious to check it out, go ahead. It will blow your mind. I couldn't sleep. And yes, it's the same night as the one that I just talked about. Shifted my focus, not shifted my perspective earlier. It's the same night. But I got another spark of idea just now. As I was talking about that, I got this spark of idea. But the crazy thing is, this idea actually came first. When I couldn't sleep and I got a spark of idea, it was actually this topic. But as I started talking, it leads to that topic instead. It leads to the other videos topic. So yeah, now we're on the content. Now we're actually on the video that I'm actually. Now we're actually in the topic that I actually wanted to talk about. If we can be in the present moment, this is actually another topic I'm going with, but this is another idea of another topic. I don't know how many I don't know how many videos I'm going to film tonight, but I just I just have an idea of another topic. Okay, we're gonna talk about this topic for this video later, but this topic of this video I'm gonna talk about in another video, but now we're gonna talk about mindfulness. I'm sorry. So I used to believe that okay, we're starting over. No, maybe we put this in the beginning, or maybe we have to start over, but we have to see what I said in the beginning because this is a different topic. We don't focus on we don't focus, but we focus our breathing like a general meditation. You ever have those, type of, so it's something that I don't really see a lot of people talk about. um okay, I'm gonna jump into another video and talk about another topic, which is the first topic that I actually wanted to talk about this tonight, but it's ended up being the last one because I kept generating new ideas as I talk. So